Going to represent Afghanistan internationally through our music and play in different festivals, maybe get a record label contract and a few Grammys.
A few Grammys? Why not?
Yeah.
Michael Holmes, CNN, Kabul, Afghanistan.
Salman Ahmad is the lead singer for a Pakistani band called Junoon. Now, the group's message is about Islam and about peace. Ahmad joins me now from New York. Thanks so much for being with us.
Nice. Good to be with you, Jim.
You know, we should say that you are a Pakistani, you are a Muslim, and you have a good amount of experience, more than a decade, living in the United States. But you also have a phrase, a title, if you will, and that is rock and roll jihad. Now, what is that? What does it mean?
Well, Jim, you can add Pakistani, Muslim, and American, because my life has been spent straddling between the United States and Pakistan, New York and Lahore. And the title of my new book, Rock and Roll Jihad, tells the story of a musician who's straddling this crazy divide. Rock and roll, as you know, a symbol for freedom, a symbol for peace, social justice, and jihad, less well known in the West, to be a word for positive struggle. I mean, my dreams of being a rock musician was a jihad for me. You know, so I tell the story that how, as a 13-year-old, I went to see Led Zeppelin in Madison Square Garden on their last tour of the United States, and I saw Jimmy Page up on stage with a two-headed guitar, dragons painted on his pants, playing Kashmir. And I looked at him and I said, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so the band that you just saw, the Afghani band Kabul Dreams, I want to encourage them to dream big. They want Grammys, they can win those Grammys. Just keep following your path.
Now, you talk about jihad in a different way than most people have heard it, at least people outside the Muslim world. Is that a word that's been hijacked?
Absolutely. See, Jim, on 9/11, in addition to the planes, Islam was hijacked by the terrorists. They took all the language, you know, the spiritual language, and applied it to their, you know, this mission of violence. So what I'm saying is jihad for Muslims is about overcoming your ego. It's about lifting society up, lifting yourself up, never about killing innocent men, women, and children. And I think we have to wrest that word away from the terrorists and own it again.
A young man, also of Pakistani origin, is in a jail cell right now in New York City. We're about to appear before a judge and face serious terrorism charges. Bombs also go off, car bombs, all the time in Pakistani cities, killing and maiming hundreds of people almost every month, but certainly every year in their thousands. I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on all of this? Because many Pakistanis blame the U.S. for the bombs that are happening in their country, saying the war on terror was the beginning of all of this suffering.
Well, you know, ironically, Jim, last week on Earth Day, Junoon performed at the same place in Times Square where this car bomb was found. And thank God that the law enforcement agencies, you know, averted this disaster. Now, what do I think about this? I think that terrorists are scared. They're scared about positive engagement between the Muslim world and America and the West. They're scared of Muslim artists, scholars, businessmen who are trying to have positive engagement with the United States. Last week, there was a presidential summit in D.C. where President Obama talked about this positive engagement with the Muslim world. His speech in Cairo about mutual respect and mutual interest between America and the Muslim world, I think this scares the terrorists who thrive on fear and division. And so they will try anything to divide up communities, you know?
And rock and roll is a way to bring us together.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. I want to thank Salman Ahmad for being with us. Great to hear your side of the story, especially on a day like this one.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, still to come on our program, Barcelona look to pad their lead in the Spanish Football League. We're going to fill you in on how they're doing about that goal. And crashing the lunch crowd, how a Wisconsin ale house handled an extra couple of guests.
Connect the World, CNN spins the globe around the day's top stories to give you a better understanding of how events are connected. Every weeknight, CNN joins the dots.
See how a story here connects to a story here, here, and even here.
Get the connection.
China.
Johannesburg.
Lauriston.
Jakarta.
Iraq Straits.
Tokyo.
New York City.
Get a 360 view of the day's news.
Connect the World with Becky Anderson. Next, only on CNN.
We've taken you to France, Bahrain, Georgia. And this month, we take you to Macedonia. CNN's iList shows you how this young country is finding its identity. World-class wine, state-of-the-art industry, inspiring legacy.
For a small lady, she's a huge person from Macedonia.
Huge person from Macedonia.
This is a place where rich culture meets new opportunity. iList Macedonia, all next week in World 1, only on CNN.
Welcome back. This is the point in which I try to raise some morals because Smiley Mark McKay has joined me right here alongside me, and I'm going to say this to you as well as I tell everyone else. Deer and beer, they do not go together. They should not go together. But they did come together, at least briefly, in the U.S. state of Wisconsin. This is what happened. 2 deer crashed through the doors of the Stout Ale House in the town of Menominee, I think. 2 patrons held one of the deer down and then escorted it outside. They held him down, Mark. The other deer stormed into the private party room. Well, why not? This time, an employee wrestled it out. Nobody was hurt, and I guess that would include the deer.
I have a footnote to this story.
Yeah?
The patrons are actually watching the NBA Milwaukee Bucks in playoff
And a
action.
buck
Bucks,
is a deer.
See?
The
That
deer
all
just
makes sense.
the deer just came in. They wanted to see the game.
But deer and beer don't go together. That's what
There
you're
you
saying.
go. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Right now, it's a race down the wire, isn't it, in for the Spanish League football crown?
You better believe it, Mr. Clancy. No room for error. That was Barcelona's mission this Tuesday as the reigning Spanish La Liga champions went out and played one of the last remaining matches on their Primera slate this season. With just 3 matches left in the campaign and with Real Madrid breathing right down their collective necks, the first-place Catalans knew they couldn't afford a let-up against strugglers Tenerife at the Camp Nou, Barcelona's home pitch, and Lionel Messi put the home side ahead. It came in the 17th minute, his 43rd goal of the season. It has been magnificent for Messi, but the visitors were able to level matters in the 39th. Roman Martinez making it 1-1 after the interval, though. It was all Barcelona, as you can see. Kirkic scored in the 63rd, Pedro in the 77th, and oh yeah, Messi again in the 90th, giving Barcelona the 4-1 win, the victory putting Barcelona 4 points clear of Real Madrid. Madrid can close that gap back to 1 with a win at 4th place Real Mallorca on Wednesday. The nation of Japan Tuesday officially dropped out of the running to host the 2018 FIFA World Cup after receiving a tip-off from FIFA President Sepp Blatter during meetings at FIFA headquarters this week in Zurich, Switzerland. Quoted in the Japanese sports newspaper Hochi, the nation's sports minister said, quote, Mr. Blatter told us the European countries would be battling it out for the 2018 World Cup, and it would be a wiser choice for 2022. Mr. Blatter's words obviously preempting the FIFA vote on the 2018 and the 2022 World Cups, that vote taken on December 2nd. Japan, who co-hosted the finals with South Korea back in 2002, they say they'll make a more formal announcement concerning future bidding plans after explaining it all at a bid committee meeting next week back home. Tuesday at the ICC World 2020, New Zealand's cricket side met Zimbabwe and Guyana. Kiwis won the toss.